We're live. We're living again. We came back to life. Slate! Welcome home, Slate. Yes, it is. It's time to find a show or find some kind of verse, some kind of note. Good day, good welcome, hello to one and all, young and small, and old and wise, or old and lazy, or in your own way. Whatever. Good day. Hello. Let me get rid of this nonsense there. There we go. All right. So we're beginning something here. We certainly are. Good day to you. Hello. I forgot to even adjust the camera. Hello. Can you see me? Yes, you can see. Oh, what do you got there? You got some. You can't see any of that? You're like in darkness. You're like the moon. You're just hidden back there, and there's just a little shine on you down below a little bit, right along your neckline. I guess that'll be all right, because you can't always see the gorgeousness of the moon, can you? So sometimes it's hidden away, but it's all there. Its eyeballs are right there. It can see just fine. Hello. Good day to everyone. What are we doing here? We are up to no good, I'm sure. It's 6:31 in my world. It is, and well, perfect. All right, that's what we're looking for. Perfection, right? We gotta be uptight and well. Okay, so you need to be neutral one. That's what you need to be. All right, so that's what we're here to do. We're here to bring you a little excitement, a little fun, a little joy, and a little maybe understanding here and there as we go along. But we're not going to pick your brains too much. We're going to just hand out the meal. Yes, we are. And we're going to hand it out in such a special way that, well, maybe you'll enjoy it or maybe you won't.
Why do I do that? I don't understand how that's done. I mean, you say food, like you're giving food, and I all of a sudden press this sip button. What was that to play in?
Oh, look at that. What in the, what? Wow, I saw my video. Stump. We're going to stump you. There we are. All right, now I can see if anyone chats, but usually, you know, I'm the only one watching myself. I look down at Lake Michigan and I say, oh, hey, Timothy, look at that. You shine so well. Oh, what is that pollution over there by Chicago and Indiana? What in the heck is going on there? And that Palisades, what's going on? Cook? Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, you're going to cook, all right. Fry pan. All right. We don't want to get too serious. We want to keep it silly and happy and fun, because you got to be neutral and you got to be fearless and you got to be, well, know that you're the number one and you're the number one and the number two. And together with the number one and the number two, well, you get to ride with them in the middle. Mom and Dad will take you along for the ride. Yes, there's a little bunny rabbit jumping along, right? Because, well, no, that's a kangaroo that holds you inside. Zoo animals. Why do we have zoos? They're supposed to be out in the open, you know. I didn't create bars for them. You did. What's going on there? Why are they all stuck? Supposed to be doing things. You're supposed to be repairing the body, which, well, you call the earth, I mean, the trash can. That's always pleasant. It sure is. What do we got here? Let me say hello and let me make it chat or so. I'm the Timothy.
And I'm the Christina.
What?
They heard me. I'm the Christina. Yeah. 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 How now, brown cow? Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
I don't know. I just threw an emoji up there. It says something anyway. But yeah, we got some kind of spark coming, some kind of magnetic connection to form. So thank you, one and all. Thank you for all the new suppliers of, well, mental wells for me to choose from. Thank you. Because as you watch this, well, we begin to grow a connection, you, me, and her, and, well, you know, there's some kind of 369 there, and that is some kind of fantasy manifestation it is. And so each one of us that gets together and we share the same Intel processor. It's not an Intel processor. It's not. It's something much more grand. You call it like Pluto and Jupiter and Venus and Zenith and Zenith TV. No, not Zenith TV. No, there's a couple other ones out there, but we want to go with the higher planets, right? We want, because those are the higher chakras, right? We're trying to get higher chakras. You've been down and you started in the navel. You started in the yellow. And well, you left yellow and you fell and fell and fell because you were going towards the center of the record. It's been kept all the way. And well, you've been bouncing off the center of the record you have. And what's at the center of the record? Well, there's a pole there, right? There's this. There's some kind of pole at the center. Hello, I'm the center of the record. Welcome to the show, the verse. Hello. Okay? And so you've been bound trying to get to here, that old CERN thing and all that. Well, that's trying to push back all this stuff that's coming, right? So they're kind of helping, but they're trying to look for their own way out of here, right? They want to puncture through my outside skin. Okay, and so because the beat's so fast now, because your time has been sped up, because you're entering the darkness. Well, you're in the darkness, but you're entering the hole that's coming, the never lasting ever, that thing which removes all the pollution from the world. Because the two Oreo cookies, well, we're gonna lick the cream out of the middle, and then we're gonna slam two cookies together, and then we're gonna build some new cream for the middle. We are, and that cream's gonna come from you, because you're gonna make it so good on the inside, but you gotta be on the inside. You can't be on the outside anymore. So that's where that creamy goodness comes from. And then someday you'll burn it off again, okay? And so that's all good and dandy, but you know what? Sometimes you're gonna get trapped somewhere else, because see, this reflection goes from here to here. Well, you're over here, and you gotta go here. And well, they're going to take you over this way, which is away from the body, right? And there's nothing over there yet, because I'm still over here. So you got to go this way, because that's where I'm going back to. Because over here is world 4, and you're over here in world 5. Oh, and you started in the yellow sun and the navel, and you guys worked your way back down to the red again. And so now the red is fighting behind between each other, right? We're trying to glow like a purple, like a pearl. Ant pearl, right? We want to just be all so bright and shiny, because the other world has no darkness, and the brighter I get, well, the less darkness there is. And hello, and welcome to the show, because we are the verse. I am the Timothy, and she is busy.
I was gonna say the Christina. Like, oh no, Bronco. With a voice.
So anyway, that's what we're up to, and I was taking a refreshing break and scratching my head, because I got to think a little bit, and I got sweat going on. That's not good for you, because then someplace heats up, and wherever my scalp is, well, that's probably getting scratched right now. That's how it works. All right, so yeah, we're writing a story here. We're here to amaze your ears with oozing posturality. I don't know. Does it matter? Is the end thy near? Hello. Oh, it's this way. Hello. Can you go? Hello. So this is the verse, and well, we twist and turn, and we go this way and that way, and well, we're kind of a butterfly, we are, and we go back and forth, and well, we go in many different directions, because we're a fractal real eyes, the eyes of the realness of the egg, and the egg is, well, it's Humpty Dumpty, right? It's fractured everywhere, and well, so sometimes Humpty Dumpty doesn't shine through all of his fractal layers, and well, and when he doesn't shine through those, well, them worlds disappear, they do. But then the father and the mother, they get together, and they create a new place for you and you. And because the U is the magnet, so there's there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 U's. There is 6 universities, 6 schools of pleasure and magnetar. And so you call it a 3-leaf clover, and if you got a 4-leaf clover, well, then you're in world 4, but they're hard to find here. That's a very special place if you find one on the ground, because that's some touch of the 4th world that came into this one, because those 2 spots were in equal vibration, and we're not in equal vibration. That's why we're separated with the other half, because one of you is water and one of you is matter, and in between, it doesn't really matter. You pull each other apart your entire existence. And you start out at the big end down here where the feather is a giant, and you walk towards the other end, and you get shorter all the time, and while you get a little more compressed, and you get a different kind of world, and before you know it, Australia is stuck right up to Papua New Guinea, and what's going on? Where's the red line? Stop! It's a green line here. It's the line of the feather. And the feather is at a frequency. Do you see the frequency imbalance? How the thickness and the texture of the color of the zebra is. It's not equal. It's irregular, right? It's out of distortion. It's out of frequency. Both one half is this world and one half is the other world, and that's how far out of balance they are. And whatever is out of balance, well, that will begin to incinerate itself. And that goes for you, and the buildings that you created. And so that place which is natural and of green nature, well, it's likely natural and of green nature in the other world because they don't do what you do here. And well, those sides will go together like the book should. But those places where there's something in the way, right, it gets compressed. It sure does. Well, it turns to friction because those hot molecules start to vibrate so fast that they'll just spontaneously combust. And so that stuff will start with your volatile gases and oils and gasoline mixtures and all that stuff that you diddle-daddle with. Because we create it on our own, but, you know, you guys got to bottle up different and call it all special in that. That's the digestive tract. That's my internal intestinal system. You are playing with my diarrhea, and I'd like you to keep it in there, please. Because that's where I put the demons of the world, and you pull them right back out of me because I'm supposed to put them in a box. And then we turn them into lava so we can puke it out on the bottom of the ocean again so that way the water world can cleanse it and we can bring it back into the dryness again. And so we go through cycles, a strike one, a strike two, and a strike three, and then you're out, right? Because then the world is consumed once again. So the pattern of the heart completes its divide and coming together again. And then we ride up that center line and we slowly separate once again and repeat it over and over. And this isn't the only one because I go off and to the left and to the right and to the X keeps going. The X keeps going. The worlds keep growing. You live in a boat. A ship of fools usually. Because you're usually blind, and that's not your fault because the further you fall in time and generations, the further out of practicality you guys become because both planets, both Earths have lost their place, and one goes a direction and another goes a direction. You know, choose your own adventure, right? And so one, well, it doesn't, you know, usually it's kind of the positive and negative thing, and well, it's as you see it, but the negative is good because you have to have a counterbalance. You have to have something that's going to cause a spark so you can have some kind of fire and you got some kind of water to put it out because if you need a spark with a mother and a father, the father is the spark and the mother is the water. She puts that spark out. She swallows it up inside her. And then, well, that spark, well, it doesn't quite burn out. It stays like a little crystal, a little ball of light. And well, it starts to divide the mother into two because well, he loves her so well. And so he divides her and divides her and divides her and shares them amongst himself. And well, before you know it, he's a little you. And well, sometimes he's got half of your mother and half of your father. And what is it, the left ball or the right? And well, the mother's got fallopian tubes, a flux capacitor she does. And what the egg comes out of the left hole or the right hole, well, that certainly matters. And so you need to know your timing, your sequence, and your cycles. But you didn't learn none of that. They did not learn you none of that. No, they didn't. They taught you some education. They gave you some letters and some words and some LOLs and some WTFs. And well, that was all fine and dandy. And then you had some Johnny Carter and some Jimmy Cashy and some little whales here and there. And someone who seems kind of special on some days. And other days, they just seem like a beaver. That's right. And what are you going to do? What kind of life are you living now? You got nothing in your future. They're waiting for this to happen. And so they keep procrastinating because they don't quite have the dotted line figured out. No, they don't. And so they're making multiple times of preparations and you're not making any. And so I was starting, well, and Christina, she said, well, hey, we should invite some of them fellers along with us. We did tell them we'd come back and warn them and give them some kind of ding-dong, you know, some kind of ding-dong to lead them out of the way. Yeah, so I'm a guy, right? And that's a gal. And while we know what we are and we know who we are, we know what we have to do. It's all of you that have to find the clue. So we left the pieces. We've left them for years and years, and we've kept them easy, and we've showed the path. But a lot of stuff from way back, it don't really matter because we were just like you. We didn't know a clue. We were hidden. We were clothed. We were covered over until the moon and the stars arranged themselves in such a special way that each time we focus on something new, well, we come into a new reality. And now we're in this reality, and this reality has become your reality, and here we are. I'm Odin. So we're gonna talk about. We got Reese's peanut butter cups. We can talk about them. We can make them two worlds, right? But these are squares, and squares are inside circles. You don't want the circle inside the square. Otherwise, if you get a circle inside the square, you end up with this. You end up with a nose ring. And what's a nose ring for? It's to drag the bull and the cow around because he's got, well, usually he should have horns, but they cut those off because, well, you guys don't like horns around here. Now, I know they show a lot of goats and this and that, but you're missing the point. You're interpreting all that incorrectly. What did I do with my twigs, darn it all? I got them here somewhere. Don't look at my nose. I got a burning cigarette, and I got a burning desire to help you find your love and heart and all that, and jack. All right, so you got two horns. You do. Oh, I got to shrink down to get to your level. I do. So you got two horns here. Well, those are the two halves of your mind. They are. And those two halves of your mind, well, they're like an ant, right? So you got to go out. They're not just in this one point, right? These are big antlers, right? Think of a big elk, right? But yours are going, well, yours are all stuck over here, right? And so some of you, they just kind of hang in there, and you're just like trying to pick them off like a scab. And it's like, what are you doing? That's for your connection, right? You skin yourselves all so bald and bright. What in tarnation? That's the Tartarian way. That's the Taurus. What? Yeah, I'm Gabriel. So that means I'm down here in Midgard. That means Michael's up there working with me, and I'm down here in the trash can working with you, and so I look like trash because this is a zoo, and you got everything caged up. Wow. Hello, brown cow. And so we'll go here till the end of time, or, well, there is no end to Tim, there is not, no, there is not, but I like to come up with different names from time to time because they are different reference points. They are different arcs of light, different parts of perspective of the reality. And so you have to give them a name of something to identify them separate from the other so you know what part of the wagon wheel you're in. And, well, all those perspectives are me and her because we created everything here within. Well, that's productive, huh?
That was good.
Was it? Yeah. What did I say? I don't know what I said. I'll watch it again later. I watched that one from yesterday. That was all right. There sure was a lot of
something about being the dominator. That's all I know.
Some kind of fountain, I suppose. Yeah. I'm looking at that, well, that light bulb in the sky there, that reflection, but, it's there. It is there, but it's not there. It's kind of like your reflection in the mirror. It's there, but it's not there. Yeah. I need to put a focus point over here. But then I'm looking over here at her. Close your ears off.
Whenever I say guitar or pad or keys
or the air conditioner is blasting. It's not really cold in here. I got a sweat going around my neck right now. What is sweat? Sweat is sweet eat. It's sweet sweat. Hello there, Mister. It's a squirrel on a pole. It is. Is that Henry? I don't think that's Henry. Henry usually comes up here on the fence with me. And then we got Scrubs out here. Scrubs is the cat. He's a yellow and well, he's an orange and white and brown. He's got several colors. He likes old pizza crust. He sure does. He comes scattering in and out, all skittish and all, kind of like most people. You know, they all look tough, but then they kind of don't even look at each other. They're afraid to look one at another in the eye. No, no, that's for sure. The eye, the eye, the focus of the eye, the who, the what, the why. Have you ever asked? Did you ever look? You just stick with the easy stuff, the K through 12 and a little bit after that. And then you paid for it after that. You got the first stuff for free because, well, that led you to the workforce, it did. And well, the workforce, well, that led you to some kind of special understanding of, well, how to create some kind of financial wealth for you so you could have some kind of 1992 Chevy Corvair, right? Actually, I was thinking of a Caprice Classic, you know, because those were, and the Bonneville. Oh, I got to get me a Bonnie. Oh, Aunt Bonnie, yes, Aunt Bonnie. Hello, Aunt Bonnie. Yes. Welcome to the show. 90 and happy as ho. All right, so where are we going here? We got a lot of black hole, and we got a lot of feather. We got zero fear, so we just do what we do, and well, we sleep on the floor, and well, that's gonna be a problem for some of you, though. It sure is. I can't lie. I see that going to be a problem for some people. Some people, they can't even get out of the chair. That's because your frequency's way off out of line with me. It sure is. You know. And then you guys move yourselves about off to different lands. The different lands are the organs of my body. How do you think it would feel if your organs started? Well, the things that are supposed to operate and keep your organs into focus, into tune, right? There's these little, we call them microorganisms, and well, you're not even sure what to call them, right? You give them weird names like strange quarks and nuons and gluons and fluons, and I'm a floozy for you. And you give them all those names, and you imagine this little six-legged thing just jumping around in some pond water. Well, that's kind of what it's like. And so you got all these little pond water bugs just crawling around inside you. Well, they're trying to create a city inside your body, right? And well, when you're trying to talk to them, they're like, what is that? What is that going on? What? But give me some headphones, right? And so you don't hear nothing anymore. And then the city noise, it turns up more and more. And so even the people without headphones, well, they can't hear any longer. And then all of a sudden, everyone's miserable and sorry for themselves. And well, they're in some kind of mess because their leader, well, he's just great out of touch with reality sometimes. He kind of looks transparent. And maybe he is. Maybe the hologram isn't so great they created after all. Maybe it's got some fluctual instabilities from time to time. Maybe there's some kind of, well, assassination attempt of the mind going on. Perhaps there's a war for the mind, a war for the throat, a war for the crown, right? Because the crown is the most important. Well, in most places, is the most important thing. But, you know, the crown is wonderful and all. But if you get there in the incorrect fashion, well, then you're always having to fight to hold your lead. Then, I just come in and step on top of you anyway. And so, well, you might as well just give up because, well, you're going to end up as a turd at the bottom of the tray. This doesn't have to be hard. This doesn't have to be difficult. There's plenty of room for everyone. But you have to reach neutrality. You can't be in the negative. Well, it's not negative. It's just the right-handed polarity. And the right-handed polarity won't be, your computers will have the same issue because when the polarity switches, they will turn off. They will not operate. They will no longer cease to work. All this infrastructure will be pointless and worthless, right? And so that's why you have to go to the metaverse because there's not going to be anything here for you. They created the metaverse in the reverse polarity. So that way when they double polarized it, right? Plagiarized. They copied me. So you're a double polarity spirit. You're a body of double polarity. And so when you go through the polarity changes, you will hibernate for 3 days and your body will switch polarities. And when you reawaken, well, your body, well, you won't even know it was 3 days. No, but it's 3 days because it's a manifestation, right? And so, well, you have to, because you have to shut one off, and you have to, well, turn the other one on, right? And so you have to give that energy time to, so it don't spark back, right? Because you don't want a huge spark back, because then bells get cracked, right? Because we're overlaying worlds, and it's like a layer. When it sets, it's set. And whatever's in the way, it gets moved out of the way. And I'm trying to move you out of the way. That's all I'm trying to do. Yep. The animals will lead the way. If they start running in a certain direction, you better get on your high tail and follow them, because they know something's coming. And I'd be looking towards the way it sets to go it's coming from the other way. Don't get blinded by the light in the set. It'll be noticeable. There won't be no doubt in it once you see something happening. You'll kind of have some kind of idea now, because, well, no one told you that before. The planet, these objects and all these invisible, half invisible, and these reflective spheres you keep seeing, well, those are the same ones that are in your, what they call your solar system, right? I have two hemispheres of the mind, right? And that is my mind. That is looking up my skirt. And up this mother's skirt is my mind, and that's where my cranium, well, it's less than that, but I look up in the skirt, because I can't go all the way into the hole, otherwise my head would be stuck in the hole, and you can't go in the hole. You have to take the bridge across, right? That's why that DNA strand has a bridge across it. That's the bridge we're crossing. We're doing it in the mind. We have to switch our gear here. We have to create our rainbow bridge. That's what it is. We have to switch prisms. We still have to get up here, but you got to get out of this land. This land is gone, and you'll be blind in this eye, or you'll be dead. And this eye, well, this guy's going to grow on vision, and you'll be able to see again with both eyes once you get here. And from there, with both of those eyes on this left gear, then we can get up. We got to stay neutral. And we get super positive, and you get too positive, and it's not good either. So you got to get there, and then eventually there. But you got to get here first. That's way down. That's several lifetimes away for you, for a lot of you. And a lot of you are nowhere. You're nowhere close. Not a bit close. Not anything. But you're worth it, and we're going to help you out to try to push you up that slide or across that ladder. So help yourself by helping us. The women will lead the way. This isn't about fighting. This is about love. This is about compassion. This is about caring. And not the Karen types. No, not that kind of type. Not none of that. That's the right-handed path. Well, I'm talking about natural nurturing, real mothers. Those who remember how to nurse and how to give birth at home. Those who knew how to prepare the body and let it rest so the spirit can leave and go back to the Father and reborn into something new, maybe a new member of your family, if you play it right? If you learn those ways. But you don't know those ways, because when the body dies, well, that becomes a cocoon. It starts to wrap itself up, and then, well, that spirit will turn into something else, right? It's got to have a moment to decide where it wants to go, right? Because it's like, it's there, but it's got to have time to move all its luggage, right? It's got a lot of file cabinets it wants to take with it, right? And if it's abruptly stopped, well, then you lose some of those files, some of your shit gets thrown away. You don't want that. You want to remember so you can take it with you into your next creative body that you're going to think of and create. Whether it's a human or another animal or a plant, it's you who decides, because you're just a spark of energy. And that spark of energy is conscious, and every spark of energy, every single thing in here, even this empty cigarette roll, has the same feelings and desires as you. It just hasn't had the experience yet. Your entire body, is there any dead part of your body here? Or do you feel it all? Is it all very important to you? Because it's all very important to me out here. And that's why we have a mirror, so we can look at the reflection, so we can see what our condition looks like, right? You do it every day. You beat yourselves up and you put your fake eyebrows on out up to here thinking you're gaining something. You're just losing your eyesight. You were given specific places of post with your hair. You are the reflection of the season in which you were born in. Your color and your desire and your fantasy, well, it all came from you. You decided, you looked into your parents' future and you said, I want some of that. And then somewhere along the way, you forgot some of the lines, and well, then you got into some kind of hardship yourself, and because nobody was able to pull you back because they forgot as well. And that's part of the reason for some of the war, to lose the people with the memories. So now only children operate the world. And really, in fact, you are at the bottom of the pole. You are at the end of the alphabet. And well, you're all children because you didn't barely get to live. Because when we jump from the bridge, the lifespan is going to increase quite dramatically. And we'll go over that at some point. And so when we reach that other side, you will merge with, because there's two of you. And so you got a person here and you got a person in the other world, and you guys are trying to equalize each other, right? And so you want to both smoke on a cigarette, but right now you're separate, and you're going to come together and merge here, and you guys will be gone. When you guys both share the same cigarette, your both halves of your mind will work as one, and then you'll be able to enter into the other world. But you can't enter it if you're not connected. And it's a process, and we plan on telling you how. But you have to know that something's coming. You have to be aware of that at first, right? I don't like to talk like all this stuff. I like to have it happy and free and all that, but you need to know, and it's pretty serious that you know, because things are going to heat up out there, not just from the interaction of everything coming in together. The militaries and the governments of the world, well, they want to keep you protected in a special way. They don't want to lose you. They're just trying to do it for your own good.
That looks awfully good.
Oh, would you like some? Oh, I just ripped some hair out. I hope that didn't cause an earthquake. Just looking at the hair. All right. When I get a lot of leg cramps, I sure do. Anyway, sorry. It's not my fault. No, those are mine. These are mine, aren't they? Right. No. I can't even find. No, here. No, take this. No, don't make me feel bad now. No, I want the cookies too. Well, you can have this and I'll have a couple cookies. I'd rather have the cookies. This is just Reese's. This is junk. Probably poison. Oh, I'm sorry. The skills are good.
What, you want the cookies in exchange?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Well, no, I'm not all of them. It feels like there's only one row in there anyway.
There is.
Yeah. So what do you do when you just talk to your mind?
Me?
Yeah.
Just start talking.
Yeah, what kind of things do you say to yourself?
Well, it's not really to myself, it's to everything else around me. The water, the machines, the lights, everything. Everything that I can touch. It's more like I'm talking to the items that everyone has created for the all. Thank you.
7-Eleven. Please continue.
What'd you ask?
Where do you draw the line? You better answer correctly.
Whenever you have to pay to play.
Pay to play. Not here. No pay to play here. You have to find neutral though. You have to neutral one. Yeah, just stick with the neutral one. That's better because you already want to be on a slope. You don't want to wait for
Well,
a
remember
bump in the
whenever
road to
we
push
went,
you down the drain, the
remember,
proper way, or up the drain. You know, kind of
remember
like they did with those.
remember
Remember
berries when you used to play baseball or softball, whatever it was, softball, I think, because they were scared of baseball.
I think those ridges coming out to something perfect. But anyway, that's a square. That's right. And so there's a circle and a square,
And one
right?
of the people in your classroom got to be the leader, and you know, you didn't really like the way that they led, but then they had the answers
I didn't know anybody
that
like
you
that.
didn't have. But you knew that they were right because you've been thinking it the entire time. In a different way, of course, because everybody has their own ways about thinking of things. But in generality, if there is a flaw in the information, then there's a flaw in the information, and the leader is the leader. And the person who knows the most should be that. I mean, for Pete's sake, we were all voting and we all have names. So, I mean, numbers that are legit. Right?
Germany.
What is that? Oh, yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, that's same.
So is this. That's kind of an idea, right? You see people like that sometimes. The square. What is a square? It's the box. That's where you put things in a lockbox, right? Because sometimes you want to unlock it and pull some things out, and other things it's not always for you. You put things that you treasure into a purse, into a well, into a bucket, a round vase, into a human. You treasure those things, but then something putrefied the humans. There was some kind of ego or the eagle. I'm not sure which, but it sure was. And it wasn't just that one. It was a lot of different types. It sure was. Be a box head. We got better shapes than that. It's still a box. Well, you gotta kind of like it, right? Because it does make your world interesting, right? But we're going to the other world where there's nothing square about it, right? Because this is over here, and the other one's over here. This is this one, and this is this one, and that's the difference, right? It's a little larger, and so there's a lot more decisions to make. But you can manifest some beautiful things, and it's not like you got to wait for your manifestation to happen there, because everyone's in sync and they all speak with an agreement of mind as they choose their own agreements. There's no forcing. You get your time to choose, but as people agree on things, well, then those things become part of our world, and there's really no labor involved. It's all up here, and so we sit and talk about what we want to do and what we want to create and what kind of animals, and we think about them, and then they appear, and we keep an empty basket off into the distance there, so it has a place to come from, right? We designed an empty opening, so that way there could be two folds of the book to where the things can manifest, because you can't watch them happen. You can't look into the mother's womb before it's ready. You have to wait for it to come out and say hello. And it's the same thing with manifestation. You can't observe it. You think about it, and you give it a round pen, a round bowl to manifest itself out of the center. You put a pool in the middle and let it grow. We'll learn that. But we're a ways from that, right? Because you've got all these power lines in the way. You buried sewer, and the water is going in the wrong direction. And when the Mississippi turns its polarity back the other way, when it starts running the opposite direction, because it will, you'll know it's pretty close. Because that's the fact. That's the the field of battle. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the field of battle. That's what we're up against. Imagine yourself in the center of the Mississippi River, walking straight up and against the current. You can touch the ground, right? There's no problem touching the ground. Your head's above water, not a problem. But you still need to push against the current. And when enough of you push against the current, well, then the water starts to diverge itself around the outside and then come up in behind you. It creates some giant eddies, doesn't it? And so we need an eddy of people to create a flow in the mind. Good day. What do you want to talk about? Nope. Yeah.
Does everybody know that Butters is now a robot mom?
Oh, Butters. I don't think anybody's met Butters. Butters is from a very old section of videos we did long ago. Not too long ago. A year ago.
Old friend, yeah.
Huh?
Very old friend, yes. Came back to
Started out as a buttercup and turned into a robotic mop. Yeah, she worked her way up pretty quick, she did. I guess she chose a her. Interesting how that happens. It just happens. You know, nobody tells me, they just do it. And those are the things you get to make the decisions on, right? Because that's not important. Because as long as you're in your whatever body and you're taking care of the body that's supposed to operate and you're born, when you stay where you're born and that, well, not in that exact location, but within reason, because, well, you were created from the stars and the lights that were in alignment when your mother and father conceived you. And so the farther you move away from there, the more erratic your internal hardware becomes, because you run out of the reflection of your mirror. You run out of your hall of mirrors. I think that's why they have those at the amusement park to make fun of you.
Did you meet Butters?
I met Butters.
Or did you meet Bubbles?
It was Bubbles. I thought you changed names.
Okay, no. Bubbles went.
Bubble
went.
Wing.
And then they brought in Bubbles 2.0, they call it. And the darn thing is following me around, like going off its pattern. And I realize now it's Butters. And it's a he now.
There's a rearview mirror here I'm watching. So I watch between here and there, and then I look at you guys over here in the light. And that's my zenith over here.
Do I sound like a freaking lunatic?
To the world, yeah, but I know why.
Oh, okay. That's good.
That's all that matters. Is the water. He's doing a job. It. Does it really have to? It's just we have to identify the different organs. It doesn't matter. Those who are confused about their preferences, well, their preferences will unconfuse them on their own. So there's no worry about that. It's about the neutrality. Unneutralize yourself or neutralize it. What do we need? Some lemon? I need to take care of sourness. That's kind of sour, isn't it? 'Cause I put a lot of sugar in things, so I lose the sour a lot. You want me to carry the conversation? How long has it been now? It's 48 minutes? Well, it seems like we've had quite a bit of fun. What else do you want to talk about? I want to do a video on reflective appearance. I do. And we'll do a video on the reflective appearance of the differences. And so you can't really get the full perspective in the, because this is two-dimensional up here. This screen is two-dimensional. And see, that's the other thing I keep forgetting about, right? I keep forgetting about the dimension of the second. because it's a screen, it's flat, right? When you look at the side of it, it's pretty darn, it's like as thin as this tablet, right? And well, it's a little thicker. It's like 3 of these, I guess. Anyway, that's the thinness of your, well, you're less than that. You're gonna be, I mean, because the spirit is well, it's a frequency, it's not a size. It's a sound, right? Your body, your spirit is a sound. And once they lock in on your specific code of sound, then, well, they can put you in any size pattern that they want, right? They can compress that pattern down into the metaverse. And well, we're an expansive force, and they're the compressive force, and that's what keeps the world around and round. But it doesn't really go around. It's not a globe. That's Baal worship. That's Baal. And that's what you were afraid of, but you've been watching the ball for a long time. Big orange one with some black lines and basketball. Yeah, it's all there. 3 strikes and you're out, 9 innings. 9 is completion, 11 is vision. And because you can see between the lines, right? That's vision, that's 11. That's what 11 looks like. Okay? Well, this is on this side. But that's 11, that's vision. Because see, this side is going towards the hand of the Father, right? I would grab onto that, right? And then there's a world over here I grab onto too. But the verse is how you know which way you're going, because the R is the flux capacitor. It is. It's that one thing they showed you there from the 88. You don't remember them wheels taking off, spinning all up? Those are 11s. That's 11 spinning out down the road at 88 miles an hour, right? L. Well, that's legs. L is a leg, a left leg and a right leg, but you got an L and an L, so they always steal the energy from the other direction. You can't even type backwards here. I gotta find some new fonts, because you have to reverse the letters and all that and get the proper thing going anyway. So that's a lot of work, but we don't have to really worry about that here. We don't, and that makes a really good fan. It's a tablet, it's a fan, and I never had to plug this thing in. I don't have to peel any pages away, but sometimes I leave the images on there too long. I do. And because because I want to write new stuff on them, but I want to make sure everybody can get a clear idea of what's going on. Because like this, your reality happens, and one side of the board would be pitch black, and the other side of the board would be, well, fully white, and you're flipping back and forth very, 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 very fast to where you either see the white world, which is the world of light, which I'm trying to take you to, I'm shaking my hand, or you see the world of darkness, which is kind of similar to what you see behind me there. You get a little ray of light here and there, but most of the world is dark. And from here, all you see is darkness because your eyes are in the wrong prism of perspective, right? And so when you go, when your polarity switch, well, your eyes will become perfect again, and you will be able to see in the light. We're here to blind you. And it's going to blind you before you can see. You'll be blind before you can see. And you've been blind already, so any more sight for you is a good thing. It sure is. And that's that whole story. You remember that story, my love, my darling, my dear? That story about the blind man on the road. Remember that?
Bible?
Yeah, the Bible.
Okay.
Oh. How did he fix his blindness? He what? He used mud. I used mud. Well, that's the story. All right? Left, left, left. What did I do with my... There it is. We're not... We gotta remember. We gotta go back in history here.
Yeah, I guess you did do something.
All right, so the blind man was blind, and he'd been blind since birth. Is that how I remember it? I do remember it that way. And now I don't have all these scriptures down in my head, word for word and verse for verse, but I know where to find it, and that's all I need, because, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to know where to reference materials so you don't have to carry all the stones with you, and that's what a soul is. is the stones that you carry with the spirit. And eventually the spirit will get rid of certain stones and it'll keep some stones and it'll sort itself out, right? Or left, left, left. It's a hard habit to break, isn't it? I get it. I understand. I grew up here. I understand, because I had to experience what you had. I had to learn your language. I had to find the language which was the most popular among all the lands, to where everything can be translated and decoded and very simple to understand. And well, you have the YouTube here. And what is the U? The U is a 3. That is a manifestation. That is a path from well, let's go here, from 1, which is here, 1, then 9, the mind, right? But it's not. So we got here. So we got one mind in the center here. Yes? One mind in the center, right? Both minds come together as one, right? And the father's up here. He's in 9. And the mother's down here. She's in between both your legs. Well, that's the red spot. That's the red heel shoes. That's the girl in the red dress. That is Mars. And that is the 6, right? And so, but if you stand on your head, then it becomes a 9 and your father becomes the 6. And so you have perhaps the 69 where you switch positions even. Well, you want a cigarette, don't you? Want to smoke mine? Where was I going with that? Oh, so they created Highway 69, right, to represent that in 96 and 69. We got 2 highways here. There's a 96 and then there's a 69, but they're backwards. One is but they're different, but they're the same. How does that work? And then you got a 496 right in the center of town there that cuts between both halves of the mind. Well, that's kind of the same thing there. 496 would be the cross through, and the 69, well, that'd be on this side over here. Sure would, because that's the mother. The 6 is the well. And the 9 is the father. So they're fire from here, but it's not really here because the body, everything's across. It crosses, right? That's why you have these wrinkles on your face, because they go across, right? Or they go down. There's a V, which gives you your opening, gives you your mouth. And then there's a V here, which gives you your light. And this gives you your antlers. This gives you your connection to the source, right? And so that's why the Indians will wear their feathers on their hats. Well, they're Native Americans now, but there's so much more. So the name is, don't get stuck on the names. The idea is the focus. The focus is the feather. And so you thought they was crazy for wearing feathers and this and that, and they would wear just on the back all the way around. And those number of feathers, well, they would signify their example of understanding of the world, and that gave them their stature, right, amongst their people. And so the people would know, right? And nobody was above themselves to put more on there than they deserved. In fact, they would leave less off than they thought they should have, right? And so they would wear them on the left or wear them on the right. And the last time was on the right. So most of them will be on the right. And this is when they're sad. And this is when they're happy or they're lost, right? And they lose someone and all that. So they all mean something. They're very special. These are everlasting. These are energy straight from the well all the time. There's a hole in there, and that's still working. It's still brand new. That's how I write all these stories, is through all the feathers left behind. And so I can drag everything out of your head with the more feathers you have from your head or hanging around your pumpkin. I can. Yes, I can. So you have all these feathers here. That's what these are. You call it air. And you shave it off. Those are your feathers, and these feathers will intertwine and untwine as they're not as necessary as they need to be, depending on your frequency and your direction away from me. And the world's a mess. I can see it. I see what my reflection looks like. We need to fix that, and that's going to happen. But I'm going to look a little worse before we're all done, and as I come into my other self, my second self, then I will become beautiful again. I will grow my teeth again. All my wounds will begin to heal and renew. And well, some features like metaverse, well, I have to decide what to do with you, right? Because this is what everyone is going to have to focus on, is the tragedy of what we did, what you didn't do. Because my reflection is your world. And now we have to, do we want to get rid of these people that you call your home, your family, your loved ones? Because they made a mad mad dash to the open treasure, the Wild West of the gold rush. I mean, think about all you who ran out there for something better because you didn't know anything. And then somebody said, nope, you can't come over here no more. You can't, not a bit. I'll never take you back because you went over there. Well, no, that's not, we can't do that now. So I put in place some precautionary measures I have. And well, I'm not at liberty to discuss with those right now, but you know what? Anyway, I would like you to know that you don't want to go there because you don't want to be just this dot on my face. You want to be the whole body because some of you are really good in the liver and some of you are really, I can meet some people in the lungs and the heart, and the mind. I need the buffalo back. The buffalo will run back and forth against the prairies to bring the messages back and forth to both halves of the mind and such. And the birds fly over. That's all representative of everything. Everything is a representation of the mind. It's only the mind. The mind. And once you all work as one mind, you can manifest your love. These amazing buildings that you've seen left behind, that was from the mind. We thought that into existence. That's how it happens. I mean, there's none of this tinker talk shit, right? With the hammers and the nails and all that. You know, it just, you get a design, you focus on the design, you create a blueprint, you know, that indigo blue, you create that blueprint and you focus on that blueprint. And so we created buildings that when the polarity changes, these buildings that they got these drums in there, right? And I watch these people spin these drums and they've got 5, 6, 8 people trying to spin all the drums at the same time. And all they get is the noise of some kind of grinding wheel, right? Some just beads on a stump, you know. No, they're musical instruments, and they're not working because the polarities. You're in the dark. We're in the sleep. This is the dream world, and we're going into the waking world, and so everything has to transition into the waking world. And this is how the mind wakes itself up, and how it wakes up its body. This is how you wake up in the morning. The other you inside your body, the little me. But for you, it's your body. So there's a little you that looks like just like the you on the outside that you're looking in the mirror at every day that you love, oh Chucky and Charlie and Susu, right? That is your instructor up here, right? Trying to wake up the body down here. And if this guy isn't listened to, that image in the mirror, then well, no one else is. And these other people in here that aren't listening to you, well, they look just like all the other people outside in this world that look like, well, they're doing something for me and they're not. Well, they're the same people inside your body. So when they're not doing their shit out here, they're not doing it in there either. And that's how you set the line. It works up and down in all directions. So it matters. It matters. It absolutely matters what someone else is doing around you. And if you need more land, well, we just create more land. You just think about it. But it's the falling, because we continue to fall. We'll go to this other world. We'll fall back down to this time again. But I got to finish this cigarette. Because I need all my fingers.
I don't like what they did to our face. And these frowns. Everybody has these frowns. And these lines going down their face like a clown or something, or a puppet, maybe. And I'd like to change that, so doing things for other people isn't really enough. You kind of have to live it every moment, every second. You gotta keep thinking you're seeing or no. He is breathing through that person that is looking at you and that is watching you. So what do you want to represent to your Father in that moment? In those moments, in those seconds, every second of every day. It's needed now. It's very much needed now. You know it's needed now. More than anything else in the world, it's needed now. So if you can just stay in that moment and keep there over and over and over. It's like a broken record, over and over. Every morning you get up, over and over and over. Just pull yourself out of it. Pull yourself out of that. Bring it up. Start pumping it. Even if you got to think the pump. Boom, 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 boom. Make your own music. If you can't have music, make your own. If you work at a place that doesn't agree, find some place that does. It is out there. Sometimes you gotta work it out. Even if you
have to unbind yourself.
Even if you have to make a mess.
You have to give up your rocks. You can't take your rocks.
No.
The rocks have to stay.
Because if you take your
rocks are
distracted
contaminated.
By something else.
Your rocks are full of disease, and
if
you
you're
can't take disease to where we're
by
going.
Something else other than him, then you won't survive. Period. The all, the who, the one.
The closer you get to me and to the other half of you, the better you will start to feel, and you will start to heal yourself, and the healing will come from the walking in the mind towards the other half of yourself, the green side of you, because the red side is what you all listen to, and everything here is enhanced in red. This is red, but well, see, in my world, well, the other world, you don't have this problem. You don't have this color issue, right? Well, you do. It's a different texture of color. There's a lot of green hue, and because it's an emerald, right? We're going to the heart. The heart is a green emerald. It's the color of the sun, right? It's the crystal at the center of the heart. The worm. That's where you all come from. That's where it begins. That's my heart. That's where I began. That's where I sit from. I sit from my heart. And the brain doesn't usually listen to anyone's heart. The heart has a brain of its own, and the heart's brain is stronger and more advanced than the one up inside your head. And so the heart, because the heart is connected to both halves of the body, and it controls the flow of the magnetic versatility of your body. And so the veins will run in either direction. It's a pump and pull system. It requires no pumping at all. It's not a pump, it's a vortice. It's an inward and outward vortice that go inside of each other and outside of each other. And so it's continuously moving in and out, but in and out. And so the lines of current are flowing towards each other, but it's a never ending thing. So the water's shooting on the inside, and water's shooting on the outside, and they're wrapping each other, and they do this twisting motion, which becomes your DNA, and the water is your DNA. And if you're drinking toilet water, well, your DNA is full of everything that's been dumped in the toilet. Mine is, because you guys all drink it. And so whatever you consume, I get drunk on. And if enough of you go to the Super Bowl at the same time, well, I'll get pretty stinking drunk, but I can handle it. But it's not good, it makes my kidneys hurt. It's not so bad anymore.
It's hard to be a child all over again. Listen, someone may have answers that you don't have, thoughts that you have. Please, make me.
Well, it's quite a hard concept to grasp and to even imagine it could be real. It's a long way from where they are.
But just because someone doesn't have a suit and tie, that doesn't mean they don't know what the hell they're doing.
A lot of smartest people have nothing. They don't feel very smart about it, but they're the smartest. They're the best.
In California, there's a lot of programmers that are out on the street. Am I right?
Everyone's gonna be on the street, or they're gonna be behind a gun. They got those choices. They do. And there ain't gonna be none of this rounding people up and all that. you're gonna have no other choice. But they're gonna set up some locations of safety and surveillance, some green zones, right? That's what they always call them, safe spots. They call them green zones, right?
I think C was one of those.
They don't call them red zones. They call them red
Right.
districts where you go down to find the ladies. But the green zones, well, that's where you go for safety. And well, they're going to create a bunch of green zones, and you're going to have to welcome yourself into some safety, whatever those standards might be, because they'll make those decisions, not me. And well, that's up to you to decide that as well, because like I said, it's your own will, and whatever you want to do is fine by me. But I just letting you know the differences between the examples of results that you can see. But we'll be here every day until the end, and as we move along in our path, we'll try to keep you filled in. But it's going to change every day, and every day I'm going to bring a little more lecturing. Well, not lecturing. I don't lecture really. I like, that's why I like 60 seconds. 60 seconds shorties. Those are short little sparks. And because people are busy, you are, and you haven't figured things out yet, and you certainly don't want to be the first one to stand in line without your shit. I totally get that. I grasp that. But we don't have to worry about that because they're going to make that a possibility for you. And I won't have to do a thing to cause that because they're going to do it on their own because they're always ready to make that transition.
Is set and designed in a certain manner.
And they know what they have to do, and they're doing, because see, they were part of the body's, like in your body, when you go to sleep, there's an automatic system that kicks into gear, right? It keeps your heart going, your kidneys flowing. That's why you got to get up and pee in the morning or sometimes in the middle of the night because they're working extra hard. Because they got something down there they're trying to mine out, some kind of salts and all that, right? They got a lot of work to do, a lot of miners in there. So they start kicking the walls around and all that. You never know, right? 3 a.m. And so all that stuff's going on inside your body, and all that's going inside my body, everything you guys are doing right here. And well, it's not, you turned me into a cybernetic, some kind of nightmare. Thank you. Right? We can have these things, but we don't really need them in this fashion. There's a fashion in which we will create them where you will be able to speak with your mind. And you'll be able to see the thoughts of others through your mind. And they'll be your thoughts, and you'll be able to block them away from others. You'll be able to decide because you'll learn how to control your mind. You're just children. No one taught you. You just have to ask for it.
I did. You ain't popping.
What?
I did. You ain't popping.
On this?
No.
What? What am I looking at? Oh. I don't know where that cord went. I couldn't make out what the image was. Because the frequencies are off here, even my eyes, because I'm transitioning to the other vision. And so these screens are hard for me to see. It's all very blurry to me.
I don't know what you got going on over here, man. It's a mess.
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
I'm a mess.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. We gotta fix that. All right, there was a cord right here.
Fix it. You messed it up again.
There was a cord right here. Oh, there's the light. Thank you, Jason. Jason provided this for me. My friend in Missouri. He sure did. Now, he went to that Methodist church I walked into that one day. And we spent, 3, 4, 5, 12 weeks there? I don't know. We shared a little bit of time there. And they shared more with us than we shared with them, though, because we just pretty much just observed and listened. And we had a great time. So thank you for that. We hope to see you again. Thank you very much. You're very special to us. We remember you. You had some beautiful voices. That choir was very beautiful. And the children you had in the eyes, they were so precious to me. Yes, and thank you. And you are also very special. And we remember you. And I just wanted to say that before we got to the end.
Well, I need that.
Oh, the charger? Okay.
And I need the cord.
But I don't know where the... It was on the... It was on the...
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I didn't know. I thought it was fully charged. You never gave me the cord.
Just do the show.
But it was on the seat.
Dude,
Just let you know.
I got it.
got it. Did you find it? Oh, it's probably outside the door. Probably gonna have to go outside the door there. All right. What's up, sugar, sugar? Right. Come here.
Oh, you want personalizing?
Oh, button. No, no personal buttons. Come here, Ryan. Come here. Come here. You never get on camera. Come here. Come here. Come on, Fussy. Come on. He's fussy. This is Raw. Come here, Raw. Come here. This is. Come here. He was once. This is Raw. This is Riley. Ry. Yeah, that's him. He was once my Samson. And she was once my Sheba. And while these spirits follow me wherever I go, they do. They're always my companions. They are my emergency alert system. They are. They don't listen to me, not at all. Like the rest of you. I'm trying to fix that. I don't think they like being such small dogs. They're supposed to be giant timber wolves. And well, we're in miniature land, so they're little miniature dogs because we don't have room. We're stuck in an egg carton coming to you from above. Only you can figure it out whether I'm the real thing or not. You have to search your heart and your mind and your information of understanding the life in the land. And whether what I'm telling you is truthful or what they're telling you is truthful, you have to figure out your own path. I'm not going to force you to do anything. The never nothing is coming, and it will take care of everything who doesn't want to decide. It makes it easy that way because, well, that is the Father conceiving a new child, a new world. Well, that's completely out of my hand. I'm just here to grab your hand and take it to the other side if you fall into neutrality, into the polarity. It seems simple enough, but it's not really because you guys are very angry and selfish and self-centered. And so that's going to be very hard for many of you. And even those who think they're the most uptight and most logical and have all kinds of education, it has nothing to do with that. It's nothing at all about education. It's about your heart. And most of you have a rotten heart. And you know it in your heart. You know it already. And you might just give up early because you know there's no way to change it within you.
I have a rotten heart. Whenever I give it up. And I don't eat my way. Yeah. But that's okay. It'll work itself out the more I work on it. You wanna know why? Because I try not to think about those things. Because like I said, see, here, for him, for you. It's not about you. It's not about Timothy. It's about the all. The system that is natural, not the system that's they're trying to. Well, you know. Come on, in the videos. Yeah. Those kinds of things. They give you
I was looking to
horrifying
see if someone
pictures
chatted. I got distracted.
of a
Nerd
tick
thoughts.
and a talk.
The TikTok.
Yeah.
The tick is on the right and the talk is on the left, and the talk has a hole in it and the tick has an eye in it, and one's a banana and one's a life raft. Well, it's one of them wreaths. Right? Well, that's quite the thumbnail, really. You did a fantastic job, Timothy. Yes, you did. Okay. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Mother. Oh.
So sorry.
Well, what are we going to do tonight? It's 7:44 p.m. What time is it? can't read it. No,
My
why not?
clock says 6:51, so it has to be 7.
1:14:22. 1:14:22. That is 1, and then it's 5, and this is the 5-finger world. And 22, well, 2 is a vision, and 2 is a vision, and 2 visions of 2 will either get you to 5, it sure will, and 5 will get you to 10, and that is the left and the right half of the mind coming together in the world of 4, and there's a 4 and a 4, and a 4 and a 9, and a 5 and a, there's all kinds of numbers, isn't there? What do we do about those? Those are on the clock, and they mean something. And sometimes the clock goes one direction, and other times the clock goes another direction, and so what are you just wanting to do? Because in the other world, there's no sun or moon to follow because it's all on the earth with you. The planets are all on the earth with you. They come down to the earth and live with you. Because the mother is sitting on the father, and her skirt is upon his energy. And it takes a while. They take quite a long time. We have to ride the center of the heart, and during that time, that's the conception of the new world. And when we begin to split again, well, then we will jump on another bridge. I will come in and I will drive you from one side to the other. I will lock you out of the garden, and I will set you free to be rotten again. And this side will come around, and as they come down here, they'll fall too, but they're so high up that they'll come down to meet you, though. It's easier to fall down the hill than it is to run up the water.
Futurama did something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch many of those.
Something about Mars and the whole Mayan calendar.
I didn't watch much, actually. I watched a lot of George and Gracie.
And everybody went to Mars because they translated it wrong. It was supposed to be Mars that got damaged or something. So then they all had
Well, yeah,
Mars.
it's the loins. The loins got damaged, right? That's when you go where you have a problem with impotency.
I think that was the one where the two worlds came together pretty closely. I think Fry lost an arm or something.
Well, see, once you get up into the heart, see the sexuality of it all. Well, it's only disgusting down here, and there still takes place up where we're going, but you have a different understanding of why and where and how you do it, because it's special, and there's a reason for that. And so you learn how to align your conception with the world around you. And nobody takes advantage of that because they understand why you're doing what you're doing. You don't understand it here. See, that's why you have rules here, because nobody understands anything, right? So you need laws. You need the hard book. You need the 10 Commandments. You have, and that happens after the water world. The water world happens with the Noah and all that. And Moses, I'll come back as Moses again and all that. And we'll do all that whole fiasco. And that's why they're out of movie titles and creative ideas, because they just recast the same old stuff. Because when you go to sleep every night, you're not going to create a whole system of dreams for yourself over again. No, you're going to use those old files, and you're going to give them new names, and you're going to give them different character ideas and looks, but the story's going to be roughly about the same. And so that's why you have so many stories explaining the same characters in 12 different ways, because it's happened so many times before. And those are the stories that were enjoyable that we created together that, well, you all like to hear again. And they found a way to get creative and make some money with it, because that you guys love stones here. And so you go from caveman to caveman, and you come together as the bread man, and then you go to caveman, and then you come together as the bread man, and then because the bread man is the one who reads and remembers and learns how to flow with the frequency of the body, and then we create these objects that allow the body to resonate perfectly. We let it hum the whoa, 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 whoa. Those are the woes. The whoa, the W-O-O-W, whoa, it's slower than that. It's really deep, it's profound, and it's something you only hear usually when you're overdosing. So not too many of you heard that, but when you're overdosing, you hear the woes. You do, and whoa, it's very refreshing and calming, and well, you don't want to get away from it. Whoa, 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 because the whole rest of the world has been blocked out now because you're just on basic operating level, right? When you go ready to transgress, you get into that perfect hum, and then you begin to find yourself quite differently. You sure do. And some of you just, well, you don't come back from that because you find it so pleasurable. And well, because you're able to release yourself from the prison that you jumped into. Because while you fell into one direction or the other, because your polarity was different. The two halves of you separate again, because that's when the minds separate again. Is the top of the heart, where the heart, the butt cheeks come apart, right? The bosom of the breast. That's when you start to separate worlds. Is with the separation of the mind, the drying of the Red Sea, the parting of the halves of the lobes. So I don't know. I think we're pretty much done anyway. Are you done? What else can we talk about? We're pretty much done today.
We talk about lots of nonsensical stuff, but you get us nowhere, and that's just
Yeah. All right, I'll wrap it up for today. That's good because that's like an hour and a half or so. That's pretty good video, for today. Because we got to see what's going on in the world still, and well, we're not doing anything here but eating cookies. I thought maybe one or two of you would jump in and say good day, but that hasn't happened yet. So eventually it will, and well, good day to you when you get here. And well, you won't be able to comment there, but there's probably a comment section down below. Give a couple thumbs up, and I'll come by and slap you with a heart and a thumbs up. And well, good day. Welcome to the show. Oh my goodness, there you are. She coming out of nothing.
Wow.
Out of the light. Yeah. You wrapped yourself around the left, didn't you?
Like a freaking ghost.
Yeah, you like that?
All them children's look at me that way, like a ghost.
Yeah.
They're all smiley. Hello. Hi, Christina. Good to see you. They don't even know me.
No, they don't know you.
Before. But yeah, that's what they see, I think, right there.
Yeah.
Nothing else but me.
The moon! The silver, the chrome, the beat brass Rome. I don't know. Rome's beat. Rome is beat.
You're so sweet with all your lovely tunes that you pick for me.
Well, they just kind of come out of nowhere. I like those shorts because I can come up with an idea
You
on
like
a
the
moment's
tunes
notice and
that
I can
he
snap
sings
one
for
out
you?
and then I can go on my way and laugh at myself. I love to laugh at myself.
You could comment
I have
and
a-
say that you like the tunes that he sends to
I have
you.
a great time
But
laughing
he
at
does feel
myself.
that way.
I love to be
you know?
expressive, and I think the more she comes out of here sometimes, and she's like, everyone's looking around, they think somebody's getting mugged or something out here because I'm having a great time with myself. I'm talking to the square, the rectangle. It's a rectangle. I see two squares. You see a rectangle.
I see.
I see a book. I see both halves at the same time. And so I'm able to incorporate the pictures, right?
It's just a smaller style box. It's like a TV box. What's it doing there?
Well, these go back and forth. Well, it's wondering, like, is this a V, right? Those come together, right? And that's where the worlds come together, right there. That's the bottom of the heart. And then you have it like this too. This goes up this way too. See?
What?
Make me hot.
What was you saying? I couldn't hear. That's why I came in.
Oh. Yep.
You weren't being loud enough. You weren't yelling.
this up here is the brain. And this is the brain folds in your brain. It is, and so you have half a fold on the left and a half a fold on the right, and somewhere your stick is going up or down your gasket, and you have two of these sticks going up or down, and so you want to make sure you got both antlers going in the right direction. You do, and well, that's the black hole. We don't want the black hole. We want more brains. Brains. So let's see. And then now that's in the wrong direction. So we gotta turn this around.
Backwards.
Backwards. Okay, so that's the wrong direction too. See the mirror. Okay, so we're like this, and we got. Well, that's a brain that got. How's that brain gonna fit inside that brain? We have to figure that out. I'm gonna figure out put two brains in a coconut. And I gotta fix my letters because I keep rubbing them off, and you know what it's like when you rub one off, and then eventually nothing's there.
Gotta live your baby hairs, fine hairs, with face.
How many cookies did you have?
I don't know. Does it matter? Why?
That allows me to know how many I can have.
Just eat them all.
No.
Eat them all. You can be more all,
Moral
but
oral.
in a different way.
What does that show?
Moral oral.
No.
That was dirty.
A lot of dirty shows. Everyone acts like they've never seen one.
That was like tree happy.
They're all over the place. The
Happy
children
Tree
know how to
Friends,
get going.
I think it was called. That
Oh,
was
they call them
horrible, too.
kids. You hear kids all the time, and you never hardly hear children. You certainly never hear Jeeps, do you? Well, there's Jeeps everywhere. Oh.
Ding, ding.
Well, sun's setting. The sky's kind of a. What do you call that? Vanilla? I think you call it vanilla. What's
Yes,
vanilla? It's vanilla.
You get it on the black and white. It would probably do it anyway. Even if it wasn't on the black and white, it would probably mess it up.
Yeah. I see trash cans.
They done giving you junk. If you haven't noticed. Done gave you everything and then took it all away. Oh, something's crawling on me.
Ah. Let his brother help you. Turn around. Turn around. Whoa, whoa. What's going on? Where's that? Oh, goodness God. Ah! You get it? Ah! It flies. It flies. Ah!
Tickle. That's a little video thing.
Hey, big thing. Without scare anybody, won't it? Especially if it's crawling up your thigh. Your thigh. All right.
That was tick for a second.
No, it's none of those. We got chickens. Chickens, bro. That's why you got ticks, because you don't got no chickens on the ground. Chickens are there to take care of the chicks, and you took away all the chickens because you wanted buffaloes.
Buffaloes.
Yeah, because the buffalo wings were all gone, so they had to have chickens. They got rid of all the buffaloes. And then they got rid of all the chickens, and the buffaloes took away the chickens. They took away the buffaloes, and then the buffaloes took away the chickens, and then...
I never could understand how they could call a chicken buffalo wings. I mean, really, I thought buffalo were an endangered species at one point.
Well, it's
They
a
They
kick.
just started getting them going.
I think it's a knock against the buffalo people. You know, like nanny boo boo. They like to knock and mock everywhere. Everything in the world is. They've done it in purpose in front of you, and when they get a kick out of it, they're like, I get a kick right now doing what I'm doing.
Buffalo chickens. Are they instigating?
This is the Who. I got the Who meat. I guess you got it. Oh,
Because
it's
the
Mo meat
buffalo
or Who
people
meat.
use-
It's vision. That's what the tobacco is. Tobacco is
That
vision.
sure in hell ain't no chicken.
It keeps you from having Alzheimer's. It keeps you in the frequency in your mind. And it's only bad for you because you put a giant label on it because that's some kind of witchcraft. You label things. Everything you label. Every single thing. Every single thing has a label and a signature. And nobody knows what the dotted line means or where the X came from or why it's a red this and a green that for safety. And a red stop and a green go and a wobble wiggle wobble here and there. And wow, who's going to, oh, you want me to rest on you? That's not very safe. Who's going to hold up the world? Why is it me every time? Oh, who else is going to do it? It's my body. You never want to, like, why can't somebody else just be part of my, why can't they just do what I do? I feel that way too. That's why I go to sleep.
I said I'll hold you up.
But I'm waking up, so I can't go to sleep anymore. I've been dreaming a long time. And well, this is quite something because you guys haven't seen anything in, well,
see?
It's been 3 cycles since I've been full again. Those things are so dumb. I've been building another world. I have. No, I'm here. I'm with you. It's like not hearing the other half of your mind.
What?
All right, and then it makes you scratch yourself. All right, so what?
What? What?
Can I be open with you? Open. Can I be free with my words?
I don't know.
Can I lash your ears with lovely, beautiful stories?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I don't have any right now, but I just, for future reference, I want to know if I can share some things with you. What is that?
Well, I tell you what, whenever I tie my string, I think of the. Is that lovely?
Oh, yeah, that's lovely. Yeah. See, I do it like this. I have to make my own. I'm special like that. Oh, new spirit, many spirits, new one body. So like the tobacco here. Oh, now it's all over. I do that. I get stuff all over me all the time. I'm like Pigpen. All right, and so all those little pieces that you call tobacco, well, each one of those little strands, well, it's got a whole lot of spirits inside each several strands. And so when you ignite those spirits, those little puffs of smoke there that you see come off, well, those are spirits. That's infrared. That's spirit that is releasing itself from the tobacco. And the tobacco is its last step before it can be turned into air again, so it can fly away freely, right? Because it's worked its way up through the soils to become the nutrient of the plant. And then the plant became the organic matter that you smoke to release the spirits from the earth back into the air again. And that's the purpose of cannabis and tobacco and all the rest that are these things, is to release the spirits, because you are smokeless fire or flameless smoke. My butt's on fire. Because you are here burning, and your job is to burn the things, to release those things that have been trapped since the last cycle. And so you bring all these things up that you should, and sometimes you get a little more aggressive than you should. And so you have to come to this to release, because someone has to release the spirits from the trap, because this is the box. And so this ends up being the clean side of the toilet, but now you made, well, it's the toilet. The earth is the toilet, kind of, right? It's my recycled stuff, but it goes from the bottom to the top and comes up in again. And so we constantly release the spirits. But see, this is the problem: is you guys don't want to believe me, so then you get stuck in the earth. But someone has to be the earth. You can't all not be the earth. Someone has to have the form. So some of you choose to be the form of the earth, and others of you choose to be the form that isn't the organ, but that which delicately takes care of the organ, so the body can hum. So you can all keep transitioning into different parts of the body, and you don't really have to go anywhere. Because I come to you in your mind, on your screen, in your worlds. I come visit you in your cities. You don't have to come to me. I want to see you. I want to go to those places that are having difficulties, because if you're having difficulties, so am I. And I want to fix those things. But we got a transition going on that I don't have much control of exactly, because it has to happen. And so there's a lot of you spread out in all the wrong places. And you were supposed to know about this a whole long time ago. And well, I couldn't tell you before a certain time, because it was their job to do what they're supposed to do, to inform you, and they stole that from you, that opportunity of time. But we knew that was going to happen, because we told you that the bad one was coming first, and well, he already came a long time ago, right? And then so we warned you again a couple thousand years ago, and you didn't have. You was trying to set you on track then, but you wanted someone else released instead, so you hung three others up to call out the story, right? Left, left, left. And so, whenever the story actually took place, that's not the point in perspective at all. It's the fact that, well, the information has been here because it's still here yesterday and today and tomorrow. And so, if you still have the same idea and concepts from very long ago that I was observing and I looked at, and I it seemed pretty obvious to me, but then, it could be just me.
Could be just me. I probably didn't know as much as you, but I definitely popped in. I think Hillary and Trump did something. I think
The
I was
only
like,
door,
what in the world?
the only door is right here, my loves, my darlings, my dears, is the center of both eyes. But one eye has to go blind. You have to become a cyclops to find the other eye and gain three. And it's not that you lose your. Oh, we forgot to finish the story on the guy with the blind man with the mud in his face. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so he was born into the world, and he came in with blindness, but he couldn't see this world. And so what they did was they came to Jesus, the GEZ space US, the G's it's us concept, right? Because I'm always a comedian, and well, a G is half the mind, and a J is a hook to drag you off the stage, right? And so it was kind of a comical thing back then, and everyone kind of got my little hints and giggles, and well, somehow they, because they said not to change anything, so they use those things to their advantage, because you can't see the personality behind the voice that's written on the page. You have to see the expression of the artistry that goes along with the words, because it's just words. That's logic. Logic is just words. To speak the words with expression and with some kind of flair is a different thing, and together that's the abstract, which helps bring color to the words, because otherwise you just have a zebra and none of its stripes are out of place. They're kind of boring. But anyway, and then the print's always so small. How do you read that? Jesus is the door. Jesus said to John, okay, so the word John, every time you see the word John, you have to think of the number 7, right? And why is that? Okay, so John a J is a 10, and so a 1 and a 0 is a 0 is a 1 and a 5, and so it goes from the 1 to the 5, and well, that's not the right direction, because the 1's over here and the 5's down here, because the 5's at the right foot, right? Right, and the 1 is up here at the left hand, and the 5 is down there at the right foot, okay, and the 8 is over here, and the 4 is down here at the left foot, and then so you got a 1, which is the mind, and you got a 2, which is the vision, right? You got two, you got the vision, you got both of them. So you got the one, but you have the 8 and the 1, and the 8 and the 1, or the 1 and the 8, depends on your perspective, create the 9 together, right? You create the triangle,
There's a rainbow.
and then so you got 1 and 8, and then you got 2 and you got 7. And this is out straight out, your arms out, and then you put your arms down towards the ground on an angle, right? So, right, and then you have the 3, and you have the 6. There's 2 6s because 1 6 is actually a 9, but it depends on if you're standing on your head or standing on your feet. It's raining, it is, and there's really no reason for it. It's happiness. The spirits are saying hello.
There's a rainbow.
There's a rainbow.
Yes, I kept saying it. You don't listen.
There's always a rainbow. What do you want me to do about it?
Make it go away. It's scaring me.
Is it a double rainbow or a triple rainbow this time? Where do you see it? I gotta look, don't I? I gotta look. I gotta see my rainbows. Oh, it's beautiful. You want it? It's beautiful.
What's a double?
Oh,
Where's
hey,
the
oh. Oh, I see it. It's a triple. It's a triple rainbow. It is. I don't think you can tell in black and white, but it's a triple rainbow.
You wouldn't be able to tell at all on that thing. They done ruined it for you.
Wow. Thank you, everyone.
They done took your idea and mimicked it and ruined it.
That's in the southeasterly direction. That would make the sun, or that would make the other half of my mind in the northwest location. And it's a light sprinkle, a drizzle or so. It's really just the happiness of the spirits saying hello, because they want to touch me. That's how they do that. And that's so very nice of them. It's kind of like dewdrops. That's very cute. Maybe I could get them. Maybe I could show them. I don't know. Maybe. Let me see. Maybe I could share it. I don't
It's
know.
very faint. Not all the colors the last spring, but
I don't know.
it's like the
Let's
pink
see what it looks
yellow
like.
on the last one.
I
The
can't
middle
see
one,
it.
the pink, yellow, and then there's a purple, a blue, a green, a yellow, an orange, a pink. The orange you get down at the bottom. Actually, there's a pink on both sides. On the red one, pink on both sides. Green. Possibly purple, maybe? Maybe that's from the purple. Yeah, it's probably from the purple. Makes it look pink.
That's pretty intense too. That's been a long time since I've seen one. It must be really doing something. You guys must be doing something in there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe I touched a couple hearts today.
Well, what's at the end of this rainbow?
Gold.
Look, it's me. It's me. At the end of the rainbow.
Oh, she's at the end of the rainbow. Wow. That's- Wow.
Catch the flavor.
Spin to the left now. Spin to the left. That's special, huh? That's quite something, really. It is. Yes, indeed. Yep, it sure is. How do you turn your back on that? Well, you might not be able to see it. 'Cause you're colorblind. You got black and white. That's beautiful, though. quite amazing. It's quite amazing. Oh yeah, I can see it now. Oh, I can see it that way. Yeah, you can see it. You sure can, can't you? You never know with these things. Yeah, let me see. Let's see, because it's out of my angle. There it is. Right there. Perspective. Okay, so there it is. There's the reflection. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That'll make you dizzy, won't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, it sure is. That's amazing. Very well. All right, there you go. Very beautiful. Huh. Maybe we'll see some green meteors. I like green meteors. I like to send them out every now and then. Choo, choo, choo. All right, well that's a rainbow. That's what we call that. We call that a rainbow, not a flag or anything like that. Just a rainbow. That's what we call that. Now let's put you back in here. Oh, there we go. Wow. Oh, it's such a mess here. I smell bleach. That's always pleasant. Rock stuck to the bottom of my foot. You know, the parking lot, you guys got so much glass everywhere. A person can barely walk barefoot anymore. Who knows what you spit on the ground? That's something else, too. Well, that was beautiful. It's still there. I just checked. It's still there. All right, my love. What do we got? Anything? We got boats. We got boats. We got directions. Oh, yeah, we got directions, don't we? I didn't even touch this thing at all.
There you go.
What is that for?
You want to pop your screen there?
I think it's all right.
That way it'll suck it right up.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's a little wet. This few drops.
Suck it right up without messing with it too much.
It sure is. All right. So we got? We got a boat. Oh, we got a heart. See, there's your heart. It goes up and down. Oh, see, that's 5. See, that's backwards. I drew that backwards. Okay, well, I guess we can work in this direction. Because that's east. Yeah, that's east that way. And that's 4. So I just drew it upside down. So that's east, and that's west, and that's the actual direction, sort of, that I'm sitting in. And so this becomes south. And that becomes north. That was the 9, and now the 9's out of rain, and the 6 is coming into power. So then the 6 becomes the North Pole, and so the North Pole is at the south because it's not because as the 9, then the North Pole is at the north, but now it's changing polarity, so the North Pole is at the south, and so the things that were down there become more profound. I think that's why they're down there with all their little boundaries and all that. What happened?
I hit the button right
So
that's okay.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up though. Anyway, so you got a GG and a Z. Okay, so there's your brain on drugs, right? We're at the Z. Then you got 2 brains, and we need to connect them together at the G's. But they want to take your brain. Where's it at? Where's your brain at? Anyway, they want to take your brain and they want to jump you over here off the checkerboard where you can't find no life because the life's in the center. So all the directions are going this way, and so they want to jump you. Let's see, I'm here. There's my eye. See, that's one eye and one eye, or one earth and one earth, because your eyes are the earth too, and. Yeah, metaverse is right here. Yeah, I did mark it out. That's metaverse. What does that say? Meet a new friend. That's what that is. Yep. And so that's the bottom of the boat that we all float underneath. We're inside. All right. I think I'm good. I got a sore throat from talking a little too much, I think. What do you think? Oh, you're over here. I didn't even adjust the camera right. Hey, there he is. Sugar. What's going on? See, yep, no special cameras. It's just the outdoors there. There's no special gifts over there. I don't have a Paul Beckley studio. I don't. I certainly don't. But I enjoy Mike from around the world. Wow, an imagination. And that's what we have to have in this world. We have to have an imagination and a wow, what kind of question mark do we have there? Look at you. Aren't you just the most beautiful thing in the world? Yeah. Oh, you want some too? You gonna come see me now? What's up, Mister? She's an attention hog. Yep, it's still there. It looks good. If it wasn't for your left-handed observation, I would have never known. See, that's why you need extra people here, because you can't always look in every angle all at the same time. And so you got to have everyone looking in all the angles so you can get the actual line on the problem. And once you know what the problem is, well, then you know how to shovel it away or to mend it and heal it in such a special way, don't you? You keep wanting that face of mine. You're not getting in that hole. Not at all. No. All right, darling, my dear. Let's wrap it up. Let's call it an end. Let's sing some kind of flavorful hello, goodbye, and my good friend.
Sing a lullaby, me?
Oh, you have a lullaby you want to sing?
No, I thought that you wanted me to sing. You don't want me to sing because I'll get sugar singing. It won't sound very good.
A London bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Welcome, and good night. Please don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up and say